Welcome to No Human Left Behind, AI the podcast. In today's episode, we give you an overview of artificial intelligence.
Introduction to Artificial Intelligence. It's part of a series, No Human Left Behind, AI. Kind of catchy, right?
Yeah, definitely grabs your attention.
So AI, it's like dot everywhere now, and we're going to break it down.
Sounds good.
Like, what is it really? How does it work? And why should we even care? You know?
Totally. Well, the guide starts off with a definition.
Okay.
It says AI is all about creating these things called intelligent agents.
Intelligent agents.
Yeah, basically systems that can reason, learn, and act on their own.
Whoa. So like dot computers thinking like us.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
But there are different levels, you know?
Oh, right. I've heard about like narrow AI and general AI.
Exactly. So right now, most AI is narrow AI.
Okay.
It's really good at specific tasks, but it doesn't have that, like, general intelligence that we associate with humans.
I see. So like a chess program that can beat a grandmaster.
Yeah, perfect example.
But it can't also like write a poem or compose a symphony.
Exactly. It's specialized.
So that's where general AI comes in.
Right. General AI is the goal of creating machines that have human-level intelligence or even, beyond.
Whoa, that's kind of scary, but also super cool.
Yeah, it's still mostly theoretical, but it's what drives a lot of AI research.
It's kind of mind-blowing, like science fiction becoming reality.
For sure.
And speaking of science fiction, didn't the idea of like artificial beings exist way before we had the technology?
Absolutely. Think about ancient myths, right?
Yeah, like the Greek myth of Telos.
Yes.
Yes.
The giant bronze automaton.
Or the golem from Jewish folklore.
Exactly, a creature made of clay. It's interesting how the idea of creating artificial life has been around for centuries.
Yeah, humanity's always been fascinated by it.
So how do we go from these ancient myths to actually building AI as a science? Was it a smooth process?
Oh, not at all. The guide talks about these periods called AI winters.
AI winter? Yeah, basically times when there was a ton of excitement and investment in AI.
Okay.
But then progress stalled and people got disappointed.
Oh, so like a boom and bust cycle.
Exactly.
Right.
There was this back and forth between hype and disillusionment for decades.
But it seems like things have really picked up recently, right?
Absolutely. AI is everywhere now.
So what changed?
Well, a few things happened at the same time.
Okay.
The guide highlights three main factors. First, there's the development of deep learning.
Deep learning. Okay.
Which is like a super powerful type of machine learning. Second, we have this explosion of big data.
Big data, yeah.
Which gives AI systems tons of information to learn from. And third, computing power has gotten insanely better.
Right, so we can actually process all that data.
Exactly. It all came together at the right time.
So let's talk about this deep learning thing. It's like a buzzword you hear everywhere.
It is, but it's important.
What is it exactly?
Basically, deep learning is machine learning on steroids.
Okay, gotta love a good analogy.
It uses these things called artificial neural networks.
ANNs, I've heard of those.
Yep. They're inspired by the structure of the human brain.
Wow.
They have these multiple layers that process information, allowing them to learn really complex patterns from data.
So it's like giving computers a way to think more like humans.
Well, in a way, yes. The deep part of deep learning refers to the multiple layers in these networks.
I see.
The more layers, the deeper the network, the more complex the patterns it can learn.
So more layers, more smarts.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm starting to get it. But how do these machines actually learn? Like, what are the different methods they use?
Great question. It's kind of like teaching someone a new skill, but instead of a person, we're teaching a machine.
I like that. So what are the different teaching styles for machines?
Well, there are three main types of machine learning.
Hit me with them.
First, there's supervised learning. Imagine you're doing an experiment.
Okay.
You have a hypothesis and some labeled data points.
Got it.
You use that data to train your model.
Train it like a dog.
Kinda. You keep refining it until it can predict outcomes accurately based on new data.
So it's like showing the machine a bunch of examples and letting it figure out the rules.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, imagine you're an archaeologist, right?
Okay.
You got all these fragments of an ancient artifact,
Lots of pieces.
but you don't have a blueprint or instructions, just the pieces.
Sounds tough.
Unsupervised learning. The machine has to find patterns and relationships in the data without any labels or categories.
Wow. That's like solving a puzzle without knowing what the picture is supposed to look like.
Exactly. It's challenging, but also incredibly powerful
How so?
because it lets machines uncover hidden structures in the data, stuff we might not even notice.
That's pretty cool.
Right. All right, so we've covered supervised and unsupervised.
One more to go?
It's called reinforcement learning.
Oh, okay.
This one is all about trial and error.
Like learning from your mistakes.
Yep. Think of it like training a dog.
Right? Treats and all?
Exactly. You use rewards and corrections. The algorithm interacts with its environment, takes actions, and gets feedback.
So it learns what works and what doesn't.
Over time, it figures out which actions lead to the best outcomes.
It's like a self-learning system that's always adapting.
Precisely.
So these different learning approaches,
Yeah.
I can see how they could be used to solve all kinds of real-world problems.
You got it. And that's why AI is so important. It's not just about creating smart machines for the sake of it. It's about using them to solve problems, make our lives better, and maybe even tackle some of humanity's biggest challenges,
That's a great point. AI for good, right?
Exactly.
But before we jump into all that, I'm kind of curious about deep learning and those artificial neural networks.
Ah, yes, the brain stuff.
Yeah, how do they actually work, and what are some of the latest developments in that area?
Those are fantastic questions. Let's dig a little deeper into the world of deep learning and see what makes it so revolutionary. So deep learning, right? It's really all about those artificial neural networks we were talking about.
ANNs, yep.
Those are like the secret sauce.
Okay, remind me, how do those work again?
Picture it like this, a network of interconnected nodes, kind of like a giant web.
A web, okay.
And each node processes information and passes it along to other nodes.
So each node is like a tiny little brain,
Yeah, you could think of it that way.
and then they all work together to make sense of the data.
Exactly. And remember the deep part.
Yeah, deep learning, deep networks,
That refers to having multiple layers of these nodes.
multiple layers.
Okay, it's like a hierarchy,
In a pyramid.
kind of. Each layer builds upon the knowledge from the layer before it.
Ah, so it gets more complex as you go deeper.
Exactly. That's how deep learning models can learn such intricate patterns.
So the more layers, the smarter the network.
You got it. It's like having a team of specialists, each one an expert in a different part of the problem.
Okay, that makes sense.
And when they combine their knowledge, they can solve things that will be impossible for any single expert alone.
So it's like the whole is greater than the sum of its parts.
Precisely. Yeah.
This is fascinating stuff, but I gotta ask, how does this all connect to the real world? We hear about deep learning being used in self-driving cars, medical diagnoses, all sorts of things.
Absolutely. It's not just theory anymore. Deep learning is having a huge impact in all kinds of industries.
Like what specifically?
Well, take image recognition, for example.
Okay.
Deep learning models are amazing at analyzing images.
Really?
Yeah, specifically these things called convolutional neural networks, or CNNs.
CNNs, got it.
They can identify objects, faces, even emotions with incredible accuracy.
So like the facial recognition on my phone.
Yep, that's powered by deep learning.
What about those apps that can identify plants from a picture?
That too. And it goes way beyond just recognizing images.
Oh, wow.
Deep learning is being used to develop self-driving cars, where the models analyze data from sensors to navigate roads and make decisions in real time.
That's mind-blowing.
It is, and there's so many other applications. It's really changing the world.
It sounds like it. But I also wonder about the potential downsides.
Of course.
What if these systems become too powerful, too independent?
That's a valid concern and something researchers are working on.
Like, how do we make sure they stay under control?
It's a complex challenge,
Yeah.
but there are a few things we can do.
Okay.
First, we need to design these systems with safety mechanisms built in,
So they don't go rogue.
Exactly. Second, we need to develop clear ethical guidelines and regulations for AI development.
So we're all on the same page.
Right. It's not just about the technology, it's about how we use it and the values we embed in it.
It's about responsibility.
Exactly. It's a big conversation that involves everyone, not just the tech people.
That makes sense. We need to work together to make sure AI is used for good. Okay, so we've talked about the power of deep learning and the ethical side of things.
Yep.
But I want to go back to something you mentioned earlier about the real-world impact of AI.
Right. How it's changing things right now.
Yeah, and how it could potentially solve some of our biggest problems.
Like in healthcare, for example.
Yeah, tell me more about that.
Well, imagine a world where AI helps doctors diagnose diseases earlier and more accurately.
That would be amazing.
Right. And not just that, but it could also personalize treatments based on your individual genes or even predict health risks before they even show up.
So AI could actually help us live longer, healthier lives.
That's the goal. And it's
Yeah.
not just limited to healthcare,
Oh, I know.
AI is also transforming the financial industry.
Really?
Big time. They're using algorithms to detect fraud in real time, assess creditworthiness more accurately, and even give personalized financial advice.
So AI could help me manage my money better.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's not just personal finance either. It's being used to manage huge investments, optimize trading strategies, and even predict market trends.
It's like having a super smart financial advisor in your pocket.
Kinda. But of course, with any new technology, there are concerns.
Right, like job displacement.
Exactly. There's a worry that AI-powered automation will take away jobs, especially those that are repetitive or routine.
Yeah, that's a valid concern.
It is, but it's important to remember that technology has always disrupted the job market.
True, new jobs always emerge.
Right, and this time is no different. As AI takes over certain tasks, it frees up humans to focus on more creative and strategic work.
So it's not necessarily about jobs disappearing, it's about them changing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And new industries are popping up around AI all the time, like data science, machine learning engineering, AI ethics.
So it's about adapting and learning new skills.
Absolutely. We need to embrace lifelong learning and be prepared for the changes ahead.
That's great advice. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here, from deep learning to ethics to the real-world impacts of AI.
It's been a whirlwind tour.
It has, but I want to come back to something you said earlier
Okay.
about AI's potential to solve some of humanity's biggest challenges.
Yes, AI for good.
Exactly. It's not just about making our lives easier. It's about using this technology to make the world a better place.
I couldn't agree more.
So what are some specific examples of how AI could be used for good?
Well, let's start with climate change. Climate change, yeah, it's a big one.
Definitely a huge challenge. How could AI help with that?
Well, imagine using AI to, optimize energy grids.
Make them more efficient.
Exactly. Or to develop new sources of renewable energy.
Solar, wind, that kind of thing.
Yep. AI could also help us model climate patterns more accurately.
Oh, so we could predict and maybe even prevent some of the worst effects of climate change.
That's the idea. It's all about using AI to understand and manage the planet better.
That's amazing. AI could actually help save the planet.
It's definitely got the potential. And what about global hunger?
Oh, yeah, that's another huge problem. How could AI help with that?
Well, think about agriculture.
Okay.
AI could be used to optimize farming practices.
Make them more efficient.
Right. And also to increase crop yields. Grow more food with less resources.
That would be incredible. What about distribution?
Yeah, AI could help with that too.
Okay.
It could help us design more efficient food distribution systems.
So we could get food to the people who need it most.
Exactly. No one should go hungry in a world with so much abundance, right?
Absolutely. It's amazing to think about all the good that AI could do.
It really is.
Yeah.
And we haven't even talked about healthcare on a global scale.
Oh, yeah, that's right. AI could help there, too.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Think about AI-powered diagnostic tools.
Like what kind of tools?
Tools that could be used in remote or underserved areas where people don't have easy access to doctors and hospitals.
So AI could bring healthcare to people who wouldn't otherwise have it.
Exactly. It could really level the playing field when it comes to healthcare access.
That's incredible. I'm starting to feel really optimistic about the future of AI.
Me too. But we can't forget about the ethical side of things.
Right, the responsibility.
Exactly. Just because we can do something with AI doesn't mean we should.
That's a good point.
We need to make sure that these technologies are used ethically and for the benefit of all humanity.
So it's not just about the technology itself, it's about how we choose to use it.
Precisely. We need to have open and honest conversations about the potential risks and benefits of AI.
And we need to make sure that everyone has a voice in those conversations.
Absolutely. AI is going to impact all of us, so we all need to be part of shaping its future.
Well, this deep dive has been eye-opening, to say the least.
Yeah, we've covered a lot of ground.
We started with ancient myths and ended up talking about AI saving the planet.
It's been quite a journey, but I think it shows how important it is to stay curious and engaged with these technologies.
Absolutely. AI is constantly evolving, and it's up to all of us to keep learning and asking questions.
And to contribute to its development in a positive and responsible way.
Well said. And to our listener, thank you for joining us on this exploration of artificial intelligence.
We hope you found it informative and inspiring.
We've only scratched the surface, but hopefully this deep dive has given you a solid foundation to build upon.
Remember, the future of AI is in our hands.
So let's use it wisely and create a better world for everyone.
Here's to a brighter future powered by responsible AI.
Cheers to that.